Carlos Alcaraz takes a major step in his recovery. The Spanish tennis player returns to training and everything indicates that he will finally be able to compete in the Rome Masters 1000. Carlos Alcaraz has been the most significant withdrawal from the Mutua Madrid Open, after confirming his retirement from the draw due to injury. The player from Murcia has played many matches consecutively, 10 matches in 12 days, and his physical condition has paid the price. The world number 3 managed to win the Monte Carlo Masters 1000 and was close to doing the same at the Conde de Godó, but in the final, his body said enough. Although Alcaraz was able to finish the match, he didn't want to push himself and ended up losing to Holger Rune. And even though the Spaniard didn't want to sound the alarm, it turned out that the injury was a bit more serious than initially thought. He confirmed this at the press conference before the Madrid Masters 1000, in which he could not participate due to a tear in his abductor muscle. But now, Alcaraz is taking another step forward in his recovery. Carlos Alcaraz returns to training after injury. On Wednesday, April 30th, good news about Carlos Alcaraz began to emerge. The world number 3 has returned to training after a week of recovery, during which he was seen attending other sporting events such as the Copa del Rey final and the MotoGP Grand Prix in Jerez. It was a much-needed rest after participating in several tournaments back-to-back, a decision that was criticized, but one that allowed him to return to the courts to begin training. He did so in his hometown of Murcia, at the Real Sociedad Club de Campo in El Palmar. He returned to the court with his thighs bandaged, as a precaution. But his team is optimistic about his recovery, and everything suggests that Alcaraz will compete in the Rome Masters 1000, returning there after 2 years, and using the event as preparation for Roland Garros. Rome, the anticipated reunion between Alcaraz and Sinner. The Rome Masters 1000 will hold special importance on the 2025 calendar, as it will be the event where Jannik Sinner returns to competition after serving a suspension related to his doping case. Therefore, and especially with Djokovic's absence, there is a lot of excitement to see Carlos in this tournament and to witness a reunion with the Italian, continuing their battle for the world number 1 ranking. Who really rules the world of tennis? While Jannik Sinner remains at the top of the ATP ranking, Carlos Alcaraz has just made a powerful statement that challenges the Italian's supremacy. The Spaniard has achieved a milestone measured not in points, but in millions. He has surpassed $40 million in prize money, something Sinner has not yet accomplished. Are we witnessing a new definition of success in tennis? Stay tuned to the end to find out. The battle for world number 1 between Carlos Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner is more alive than ever. Although the Italian holds the top ATP ranking, thanks to his consistency, Alcaraz stands out for his impact on big stages. His victory in Monte Carlo and his runner-up finish in the Conde de Godó catapulted him not only to the top of the season but also into the exclusive club of players who have surpassed $40 million in prize money. A figure only reached by legends such as Federer, Nadal, or Serena Williams. At 21 years old, Carlos Alcaraz is already among the top 11 players who have earned the most prize money in tennis history. This figure reflects his ability to shine in the most important tournaments. While Sinner has not yet reached this milestone, Alcaraz proves that his impact transcends the rankings. Every major tournament he wins adds both prestige and millions to his name. This difference fuels the debate: is consistency or greatness in key moments more valuable? Carlos couldn't play at the 2025 Mutua Madrid Open due to injury, but his recent achievements keep him in the global spotlight. He was champion in Monte Carlo and runner-up in Barcelona. Those accomplishments were enough to surpass $40 million in prize money, an amount Sinner still hasn't reached, despite his streak as world number 1. This reveals a difference in approach. While the Italian is known for his consistency, Alcaraz shines in the biggest challenges. Moreover, Alcaraz's financial achievement is not only a symbol of success but also of consistency in high-pressure settings. He doesn't win every week, but when he does, he wins big. Roland Garros, Wimbledon, the US Open. These titles boost both his reputation and income. And although his injury has temporarily kept him off the court, this record positions him as a dominant figure. Meanwhile, Sinner continues chasing the Grand Slam victory that would balance the scales. Carlos Alcaraz has once again shown that his place among the greats is no coincidence. His entry into the $40 million prize money club confirms him as one of the most influential figures in modern tennis. While Jannik Sinner leads the rankings, the Spaniard leads in decisive moments. This new milestone not only sets him apart but also fuels the rivalry with the Italian, promising an exciting future for tennis fans. Can a champion combine glory on the court with party nights? Carlos Alcaraz, one of the biggest promises in world tennis, is once again at the center of debate after revelations in his Netflix documentary. Although his rise has been meteoric, his lifestyle has sparked criticism, even among fellow players such as Roberto Bautista. Is Alcaraz sacrificing his future to live in the present? Stay with us and discover all the details of this new controversy shaking Spanish tennis. Carlos Alcaraz couldn't compete in the 2025 Mutua Madrid Open, but his presence has been stronger than ever. His absence due to injury has coincided with the controversy sparked by his documentary My Way, where the young player shows his most personal side. In one of the most talked about confessions, he admits that after losing to Novak Djokovic at Roland Garros 2023, he spent 6 days partying in Ibiza to disconnect. Far from hiding it, Alcaraz says that the complete break helped him recharge, and after that break, he went on to win Queens and Wimbledon. However, not everyone in the tennis world agrees with this perspective. Veteran Roberto Bautista was the first to publicly express his disagreement. After his loss in Madrid to Alexander Zverev, Bautista was blunt: "I don't think Carlos is going to win Grand Slams by going to bed at 7 in the morning." According to him, elite tennis demands total commitment, and while he understands that Alcaraz is young and talented, he warns that staying at the top for many years requires strict habits. For Bautista, the Mercian still has time to understand what it means to compete at the highest level year after year. Beyond his direct criticism, Bautista also contextualized his remarks with a deep analysis of the current state of Spanish tennis. "We've been spoiled," he said, recalling that when he was ranked number 14 in the world, there were at least 5 Spaniards ahead of him. Today, the situation is different, and although players like Alcaraz and Davidovich keep the legacy alive, the global level has gotten tougher and the competition fiercer. According to Bautista, this situation demands more discipline and planning from the new generation, who are still learning what it means to compete at the highest level year after year. Bautista was not alone in reacting. His reflection represents a sector of the circuit that values professionalism as the only path to long-term success. In a world where Novak Djokovic and Rafael Nadal have set a very high bar in terms of sacrifice, nutrition, and routine, many look suspiciously at those who break the mold. Alcaraz, for his part, insists that happiness is his priority and that to perform well, he needs to feel good inside. This duality between the traditional method and the new approach has sparked a debate on how the next tennis legends are forged. Carlos Alcaraz has made it clear that he wants to write his own story, without imitating anyone else's path. However, Bautista's criticism reveals a legitimate concern: can someone become the best in the world without adopting the extreme discipline that define the Big Three? Time will tell if Alcaraz's formula works or if he needs to adjust his path. In the meantime, what is undeniable is that the Mercian has sparked a deep reflection on the balance between success and well-being in professional sports. Is Carlos Alcaraz paying the price of inexperience? At just 21 years old and with a career full of titles, the Mercian has reached the elite of world tennis, but his recent injury has sidelined him from the Mutua Madrid Open, raising concerns. As he prepares for Roland Garros, he has faced criticism from tennis figures such as Feliciano Lopez, who issues a strong warning about his schedule management. Is Alcaraz making the right decisions to protect his future? Can Carlos Alcaraz be Rafael Nadal's successor? Since the young player from Murcia burst into the elite of world tennis, comparisons with the 22-time Grand Slam champion have been inevitable. But amid criticism, expectations, and analysis, it was Nadal himself who decided to speak out. In a recent interview, the Monaco native not only dismissed concerns that this comparison might affect Carlitos, but also made a powerful prediction about his future. What does Rafael Nadal really think of his young compatriot? Comparisons in sports are inevitable, especially when a new talent emerges strongly in the same country, with a combative style and on the same preferred surface. Carlos Alcaraz has been dubbed the natural heir to Rafael Nadal, a label that carries both hope and pressure. However, Rafa wanted to send a clear and calm message: he does not see this comparison as unbearable pressure, nor as a threat to the growth of his compatriot. We all receive pressure from the media and from people's expectations, but we are human and know how to handle that, he said in statements to CNN. Rafa, who has spent 2 decades at the highest level, sees not only talent in Carlos but also the maturity to face this kind of pressure. "I don't think it's a big problem for Carlos to handle the pressure," he said. For the Monaco native, the Mercian's support system plays a key role in his emotional balance and competitive focus. "He's a great player and has a great family supporting him," he emphasized. His words reflect a mix of respect, admiration, and trust towards someone who has already won 4 Grand Slams before turning 22. The most striking part of Nadal's statements, however, was not his defense against the pressure, but the boldness of his prediction about Alcaraz's future. "I firmly believe he's going to have one of the best careers of all time," declared the former world number 1. With that sentence, Nadal not only endorses Carlitos' potential but also places him, in his view at least, among the sport's all-time greats. That said, with one clear condition: staying healthy. Because Nadal, more than anyone, knows what it means to play with your body on the edge. This support comes at a crucial moment. Carlos Alcaraz couldn't compete at the Mutua Madrid Open due to a muscle injury, which sparked criticism over his lifestyle and calendar management. Roberto Bautista, for example, didn't hesitate to say, "You don't win Grand Slams going to bed at 7 in the morning," referring to Alcaraz's statements in his documentary My Way. Nadal, however, chose not to pass judgment, focusing instead on what he believes is most important: consistency, talent, and above all, health. Rafael Nadal's words are not only an endorsement of Carlos Alcaraz but also a reminder that the road to greatness is built with time, learning, and resilience. Rather than adding pressure, Nadal offers perspective. He acknowledges the difficulty, but also the greatness the young man from El Palmar can achieve. Beyond criticism or controversy, what matters most is how Carlos manages his decisions and, above all, how he evolves as an athlete and as a person.